Hello and welcome to this My Theme Shop video screencast. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to fully set up the AdSense theme for your WordPress site. AdSense is the perfect theme for earning more money from your ads in any niche. It's the most ad-friendly theme in the market and comes with features such as better ad management, multiple ad placements, ad blocker detection, and content locking for ad blocking users. So this theme helps show ads to users who don't want to see ads, and in that way increases your revenue. So we're going to be fully setting this theme up, and we can start out by heading to mythemeshop.com/WordPress-101. If you're not familiar with WordPress, or if you just want to refresh your knowledge, then here you're going to find a complete library of free video tutorials where you can get up to speed with WordPress. You want to just have a look at these, and at the bottom you'll find WordPress 201, which is some advanced WordPress tutorials. So you want to have a look at those in order to make sure you can follow along with this video. Next then, we can download the theme, and we can do that at the mythemeshop.com member area. You'll find that at mythemeshop.com/go/member. You want to find AdSense, expand that, and then press on the download theme files. You can save that onto your computer, just press save there. And we're now ready to head over to the WordPress dashboard. So we can start out by installing the theme. And to do this, you want to go to Appearance and then Themes. From there, you want to click on Add New and then Upload Theme. Then want to choose the zip file you've just downloaded. Select, press Open, and then Install Now. And WordPress is going to upload and install the theme onto your site. All you need to do now is press Activate, and you will have the AdSense theme activated on your site. You're now going to see we've got some required plugins to install, and installing these is very straightforward. You just want to bulk select all of those, and then under bulk actions, you can go install and apply. And WordPress is going to download all of those plugins for you. We can then return to the required plugins installer once we're done, and then select again and activate and press apply. And you're going to have all of those activated on your site. So these are the essential required plugins, but you'll also see some recommended plugins on the recommended tab. These are some plugins that will enhance the AdSense theme on your site. And you'll see you've got a number of plugins to install here, and you can have a look and install the ones that you like. You'll see I already have a couple active here. If you need to regenerate your thumbnails, if they're looking at their odd sizes, then you can use the OTF Regenerate Thumbnails plugin here. And there's a link to install it straight from here. We're now ready then to get started, and we can do that by heading to Appearance and then Theme Options. This is going to take us to the Mission Control Center for the AdSense theme. We're going to start off by going to Import and Export, and installing one of the preset demo layouts you'll find on the demo theme on mythemeshop.com, just to get us set up quickly. If you've already got content on your site, then you're not going to want to import any content here. It's only if you have a fresh site and you want immediately to have the demo layout. However, you can also just import the theme options and the theme options and widgets. But here I'm going to go ahead and import the theme options, widgets, and content. You'll see you have all 7 layouts available here. You can have a quick link to have a look at the demos just to check what this looks like. And when you're happy with the layout you want to go with, you can click Import Theme Options, Widgets, and Content, or whichever one you're going with. So here I'm going to go with the fashion layout and then click on there. You'll be asked if you want to proceed, press OK. And WordPress is going to download and install all of that content onto your site. So that's done in a matter of moments. Press OK, and you're now going to have the demo content, theme options, and widgets all added to your site. So if you have a look at our site now, we're going to see we've got the demo set out as it is on mythemeshop.com straight away. We're now ready to get started proper then, and we're going to have a look through all of the theme options. So we're going to start with the general settings, and this tab contains the common settings which are applied to the whole theme. So we start off with things like a logo image. Here you can upload your logo just by pressing Browse, and then Upload Files, and then Select Files, choose your logo, and then Open, and then press Select Image once that's uploaded, and you're going to have your logo added in there. It's the same process for adding a favicon, as well as a touch icon, which will display on iOS and Android, and a metro icon, which will display in Internet Explorer 10. You can add in your Twitter username here, so I'll add in my theme shop team. And your FeedBurner URL, you can sign up for a free account at feedburner.com in order to get better statistics on your RSS subscribers. So this needs to be the full URL, so feeds.feedburner.com/mythemeshop for me. But you can create a free account on feedburner.com in order to get your FeedBurner URL here. You can also add in any custom header and footer code. In the header, you might have things such as Google Webmaster Tools verification, Bing Webmaster Center, buy-sell ad scripts, Alexa verification, and so on. And you can just paste in any code here that you need to go before the closing head tag. And it's very similar for the footer. And here you can enter any code you need for the footer. So for example, Google Analytics, Clicky, Stat Counter, and so on. You can also choose your pagination type. So if we have a look at our site again, we're going to see at the bottom of the page, if we scroll down to the bottom, we've got this button that says load more posts. We click on this and extra posts are going to be loaded on the site. We can, however, change this to have default, which is next or previous, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. This AJAX load more button that we see here, and the AJAX infinite scroll. The way this works is that with AJAX, the extra content is loaded without refreshing the page, so when the user gets to the bottom of the page, they can load the extra content straight away. Whereas if we had this on numbered, for example, I'll just show you what this looks like. Then when the user gets to the bottom of the page, they're going to see that they're going to need to load the extra page in order to get to the next one. This might be better if you have a lot of archived content, but having the AJAX infinite scroll or load more button is a really nice way of enhancing the user experience. So I'll just set that back to load more. You can also enable or disable AJAX quick search. This is very similar in that it will load the results for the search query that the user has entered before the user presses enter. So they get this really nice instant preview of search results, and you can turn that on here. You can also enable or disable the responsive design. So by default, the AdSense theme is responsive, which means it's going to adapt to mobile and tablet devices, ensuring that the content always looks great no matter what device the users are using. So there's going to be a specific mobile and tablet version for users on those devices. But if you don't want to have this on, you can disable this here. But you'll more than likely want to have that on. If you're using a right to left language, then you'll want to turn that on here. And finally here, if you're using the WooCommerce plugin, you can select the total number of products to display on the shop page. And you can just enter a number in there. Make sure you save those changes once you are done. And next up, we can have a look at the performance settings, which is the next tab down here. This tab contains performance-related options which can help speed up your website. First option is to enable or disable prefetching. This works so that if the user is on a home page, then the single page will load faster, and if the user is on a single page, then the home page is going to load faster. This works in modern browsers, and you can enable this here. You can also enable or disable lazy loading. This works so that it delays the loading of images outside of the viewports, that's outside of the area of the screen that can actually be seen at any one time until the user scrolls to them. And this makes your initial loading time faster. So you can turn this on here, and doing so is going to have some additional options. So you may wish to not lazy load featured images, but lazy load post content images. And what this would do was make sure that you're not compromising on the user experience. So featured images are always there, but post content as the user scrolls, then they're only going to load. And that's a nice compromise between speed and user experience. You can enable async JavaScript tags in order to asynchronously load your JavaScript and increase your page download speed. You can remove verb parameters from CSS and JavaScript files, and this may improve speed in some browsers which do not have caching files in their parameters. And if you're using the WooCommerce plugin, you can enable optimizing WooCommerce scripts. But note, this is only going to work if you have the WooCommerce plugin enabled. Finally, we'd recommend using a caching plugin. This can increase your page download speed dramatically. We recommend using either W3 Total Cache or WP Super Cache. Both are free and you can install these just by following these links. Save your changes once you're done, and you're going to get an immediate speed boost on your site with the AdSense theme. Next then, we can have a look at styling options. And here you can control the visual appearance of your theme, including colors, layouts, and patterns. So the first option we have here is the primary and secondary color schemes. We'll see if we have a look at our site. We've got these two color schemes going on here. So we've got the primary and then the hover color schemes. You can customize these just by clicking on here in order to load up a color wheel that has every color on the color spectrum here. You can choose between any of these preset defaults. You can drag and drop in order to select a different color, or you can change the tint here. You also have the option to enter the HTML hex code here if you want to get a specific color. So I'm just going to select this color here. And for my secondary color, I'll just change the tint a little bit here. So if we save those changes and then refresh our site, you can see immediately we can change the color scheme used on our site. And this is a really quick way of customizing the site in order to match your brand. So you can get the look that you want using those primary and secondary color schemes. You can also choose the default sidebar position for your site. You can also customize this on a per post basis in the post editor. And note that on the home page, this is only going to apply to layouts with sidebar. So on our layouts, for example, there is no sidebar, so this isn't going to affect it here. You can also customize the site background color. So here we're going to see that we can customize the color using the same color picker as before. You can also choose to have a background pattern or upload an image along with all these options such as background repeat, attachment, position, size, and whether to have a parallax effect on. And you can just choose to upload a file here or choose from the WordPress media library. You can also choose to have a gradient, and here you can select to and from colors. And again, it's using that color picker, and you can choose the direction as well. So I might just change this to have a neat pattern here. So I'll just select one, save those changes. And now when we refresh our site, you're going to see that we've got this background pattern added in here. So you can choose between any of these on your site. You can also enter some custom CSS code here. This will override the default code in your theme and can help customize your site further. If you're making advanced changes, you'll want to use a child theme, and we'll look at how to set those up later. Finally here, you have the option to add a lightbox. A lightbox is a stylized pop-up that allows visitors to view larger versions of your images without leaving the current page. And you can turn this on or off here. This works so that if a user clicks on an image, then that image is going to expand to fill the page, and they don't leave the page. So that works where the image is linked there. So I'll turn that on here and save those changes. Next up then, we can have a look at the header. And here we're going to find options to control the header section. The first is the header background. You'll see that we have a background color set here, but as we selected a pattern for the main background, I'm going to select one here, but you do also have the option to upload an image or choose a gradient. So I'll select that and leave a parallax off. You can show or hide your logo just by choosing here, and also choose whether to have social buttons on or off. So if I have this on, then we're going to see that we can add in extra links here. So by default, we have Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, but you can add any extra icons here just by adding in the title of the social network you want, choosing an icon here, having the icon color, so you might want to match the brand that you are adding here, and you can also add in a URL. Once you've added those, you can drag and drop in order to move them around, as well as expand and delete. So for these defaults here, you can add in your own URL. So here I'll go for facebook.com/mythemeshop. So you can add that in there. And if we save those changes, you're going to see that we've got, as well as this background added in here, we've got the social icons as well. So we can see that in action on our site now, and that's going to take you to the My Theme Shop Facebook page. For the rest of the header section then, you can enable or disable the primary navigation menu, as well as choose whether to have a floating navigation menu. So we'll see this is the primary navigation menu at the moment, and when we scroll down the page, the navigation comes with us. This is because we have the floating navigation menu on. If I were to have this off, then the navigation would just stay fixed there, and once we scroll past, it disappears. But with the floating, it comes with you as you scroll down the page. And that might be a nice way of improving the user experience again. You can also choose whether to show or hide the header search form. So if you have this on, you're going to get a search form in the header. And also you can choose the primary navigation background. So here we've got the background color, but you can customize this using the color picker. Using the image, you can choose a pattern, upload an image or gradient. And again, you've got the parallax effect. You can also choose whether to have a call to action section. So if you enable this, this is going to enable some extra text where you can have a call to action. You can choose the background here. So I'll just leave this on the default, but you've got that color picker and the other options for the images again. You can choose your heading as well as choose a color for the text. So I might just set this to a lighter gray here. You can choose the button. So this might be a join now or some sort of call here, as well as choose the button background and the link here. So I'll save those changes and I can show you what that looks like on our site now with the header added with that call to action. So here you can see we've got this extra text here and now this button saying join us now for free. So that's how you add in the header options there. You can now have a look at the footer, and from here you can control elements of the footer section. The first option you're going to see is show or hide the footer logo. You can choose this on or off here, and if you have this on, you can have the option to add in an image here. So I'll just select my logo here, select image, save those changes, and I'll show you what that looks like on our site. And then scroll down to the bottom of the page, we're going to see we've got this footer logo added in here. So you can add or remove that there. You can also choose whether to have footer social icons, similar to as you have in the header. You can enable these here, customize what's displaying, add extra icons, and then drag and drop in order to move these around. So I'll just leave these off here. You can also customize the footer logo section background. So here you can customize the color using the color picker, as well as choose a pattern or upload an image and select a gradient. So that corresponds to the logo area here. You can enable or disable footer widgets. So we'll see if we have a look at our site. Right now we have 4 widget areas along the bottom here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then space for a 4th one here. So if we navigate to appearance and then widgets, we're going to see we've got footer 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 is currently empty. So we can drag and drop in order to add in some information into that widget area here. So you can choose the widget from the left hand side and drag it into the widget area on the right hand side. We will come back to have a look at widgets later, but I'll just show you this quickly. We can now refresh our site and we've got this extra widget added in here. So you can customize that in order to get the footer displaying how you want it. And you can also choose the background color for the widget area here. And this is the same as we're used to by now. You also have the option to customize the copyright text that displays. See, by default this says theme by mythemeshop.com. You don't have to leave this in, but if you'd like to, then you can set up your affiliate account here just by following this link. And if you do that, you're going to earn 70% of the value of the sales that you refer to mythemeshop.com. So it's well worth doing, and you can set up your account just by following this link here. You can also customize the footer copyright section background. So that will be this section along the bottom here. You can choose the background color, as well as, again, you've got the options for the images, including pattern, upload, or gradients. You'll want to save those changes once you're done, and that concludes the footer section. Next then, we can have a look at the home page. And with these options, we can control the elements that display on the home page. The first up is to have a look at the layouts. We're going to see we have a number of layouts to choose from here. Currently on the homepage, we've got this large single column display here with the post going full width. And you'll see that selected here. We can, however, choose a number of different options. We can choose between a grid. So if I save those changes and then have a look at our site and then refresh, we're going to see this changes to a grid with the post displaying in that order here with this nice hover effect. We can also choose to have the items on the home page nestle in, not in a straight line, but according to the width of the item above. So if I show you how that looks like, we'll save those changes and again refresh our site. We're going to see that the posts are now tight below the post above here. So instead of a regular grid, this displays in this nice masonry layout. We can also choose the wide option, as well as have the a small grid with a sidebar or a large grid with a sidebar. So that's 3 across or 2 across. I'll just leave that on the one we had originally, but you'll see you can choose and switch between very easily the different layouts for the homepage. You can also choose the featured categories, which is the categories displaying on your homepage. I have this selected to display latest posts, and you can see I have 5 posts selected here. You can, however, change this by using this drop down to select between any of your categories on your site or latest posts. So I'll press OK there. You can add in extra sections if you'd like. So if I wanted to have the featured category displaying at the top with 3 posts and then the latest post below, then I could do so here. So as you see, we can drag and drop. I'll just go back to revert to latest posts. You can choose to display or hide the post format icons. So you'll see for the different types of posts, so for example, regular post or video post, we've got the icon displaying there. And that's because we've got this on. You can also choose to have the hover effect. So this will show the excerpts when hovered on the homepage post, and we can see that in action here. If I actually just refresh the site to display the options we selected with this full width content area, you're going to see this doesn't display here, but for all of the other options, you've got the option to have that hover effect on. You can show or hide post meta information on your posts. So if we have this on, then we can choose to display the author name, date, categories, and comment count. And you can just enable or disable any of these that you want, as well as drag and drop in order to move these around. So I'll just leave this off, but you do have the option to turn that on. Finally, for the third layout, which is the full width layout that we have on, you can hide the post comment number. So this will display the number of comments on the post. So here we have 4 comments and a link there. Save those changes once you are done, and there you can fully set up the homepage with the layout and styling that you want. Next up then, we'll have a look at single posts. And from here, you can control the appearance and functionality of your single post page. So here I've loaded up a post here, and you're going to see that we've got ad blocker enabled, and the AdSense theme is displaying a notice here. We're going to come back to look at that later, but I'll just show you how the page in general is set up. So first we have the content, and then we have related articles about the author, and then comments. And we'll see this corresponds to what we have selected here. We've got post content, related post, author box. And we can drag and drop in order to move these around. So if you wanted to have the author box at the top, followed by content, followed by related posts, you can do that. You'll note for related posts, you can expand this. So you can choose the taxonomy that's used to generate those related posts. So whether that's tags or categories. And you can also choose the number to display here. You can also enable or disable tags. So if we wanted to have tags enabled but not related posts, we could do so just by dragging and dropping. You can choose whether to show or hide categories on single pages. So we'll have a look at the moment, and we'll see we have this category displaying at the top. You can enable or disable that here. You also have the option to customize the post meta information. So you'll see right now we have the author name and date, but not the comment count. So we have that here. But you can enable or disable these by dragging and dropping, as well as drag and drop in order to move those around. If you want breadcrumbs on, then you can enable these here. These are a great way to make your site more user-friendly, and they show all of the parent categories all the way up to the homepage, so users can see a breadcrumb trail of where the post has come from. So you can enable these here. You can also choose whether to highlight comments made by the post author and whether to show the date in comments. So if we just save those changes and then have a look at our post again on our site, we're going to see that we now have the breadcrumb trail displaying across the top. We then got the about the author section, the main content, tags, and then comments, and we've disabled the related posts. So that's displaying as we've selected. Next up then, we can have a look at social buttons, and we can enable or disable social sharing buttons on single posts using these buttons. You'll see right now we have floating social buttons here, and they float along the side of the article, but you can choose to have these above the content or below the content as well. So I'll select these to go below content. You can also choose whether to enable these on pages as well, or just have them on posts. You can choose the buttons you want and what order they display in. So right now we see we have Facebook, share, Twitter, and email. So we have these three here, but you can customize any of these. We can have Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, or StumbleUpon as well. So I might just add in StumbleUpon here, as well as Pinterest. And if we now save those changes and refresh our site, we're going to see that the social sharing icons have moved to below the content here. And if we scroll down, we're going to see them here. We've got those 5 that we selected in the order we selected as well. So that's a really nice way of allowing your users to share your content, which will help them go more viral. As always, make sure you save those changes once you're done. And next up, we can have a look at ad management. And here we see some of the really powerful features of the AdSense theme. So we have a number of options here, and I'll walk you through these now. First up, you can select whether to detect ad blockers. So this works so that if the user is using an ad blocker, then this option will hide content and ask the user to whitelist your website. And you have a number of options once you've got this enabled. You can choose whether to hide content automatically. So if the user has an ad block on, they're not going to be able to see the content. You can choose to show a pop-up asking the user to whitelist your site. You can choose to display a floating notice, or you can hide content using a shortcode. I'll walk you through all of these. So we can just choose the title. So here we say ad blocker is detected, then say our website is made possible by displaying online advertisements, and ask them to disable. So with those changes set, if I save those changes, just set that to hide content, I have ad blocker enabled at the moment. So if I just refresh this page, we're going to see all of the content is blocked here, and users are not able to read it without disabling ad blocker. So if I just go ahead and do that here by disabling AdBlock Plus, then when they refresh the site, we're going to have the content displaying. So we can see now I have the content back. So if we have a show pop-up option, I'll save those changes, re-enable AdBlock here, and then refresh the site. We're going to see a pop-up will now display asking you to disable AdBlock. And we can now invite users to refresh once they've done that. So if I, again, disable this here, then I can click this refresh button here. I'm now able to see the site. Finally, I'll just show you the floating notice. So we save those changes again. And once again, I'll just enable AdBlock. And now when we refresh our site, we're going to have a floating notice added here saying AdBlock detected. And then the other option we had is the shortcode, which is what we had originally, and we'll come back to that later. I'll show you how to add this to your posts. So we have the options here for the title and description. You can also choose whether to make your site background clickable here. And these are the options to set up ads on your site. So if you have this clickable here, then you can have a site background URL to go to here. So for example, mythemeshop.com. If I save those changes here, then once we've got this on, users are able to click on the background, and you can have this advert here that will allow users to click on an advert that is your site background. That's going to take them to a separate site. So here I'm taken to mythemeshop.com. You can also choose to have a header ad, and here you can add in your header ad code. This might be from Buy-Sell Ads, AdSense, or other ad codes. Note that if the header ad is present, this is going to hide the header social icons. So this is going to disappear here. If you're using AdSense, then you can choose between any of these ad sizes here. These are all the ones that Google offers. You can set this to auto, and the theme is going to automatically resize the Google ads. But note, for smaller screen ads will be set on auto mode irrespective of the size defined here. So you can either choose the size you want or select that to auto there. You can choose whether to have an advert below the navigation menu. So if you have this on, again, you can paste in your ad code. And for AdSense, you can choose the size. You can also select the background color for this area here. And you also have the option for below post title, where you can add in your ad code here, as well as select the position, so left, right, or center. And you can also choose whether to show or hide the advert after a certain number of days. So if we have this set to 7, this is only going to display the advert after 7 days after the post is published. You might want to do this in order to only display adverts to search engine users, but not display them to regular users. You can, however, set this to 0 in order to disable that feature. And it's the same for below post content. You can turn this on here, paste in your code, choose the position, and also choose if there's a certain number of days should pass before the ad is enabled. So you have really powerful options to add in all of the adverts on your site, as well as detect ad blockers. I will show you how to use that shortcode later on in the video. Next up then, we can have a look at sidebars. And here we have full control over the sidebars. This is a really powerful option to manage sidebars. You can select one for each section of your site or select a custom sidebar on the per post basis in the post editor. So we can use these just by pressing add sidebar here. You want to add a name for your sidebar. So for here, I'm going to add in a sidebar to display on search pages. So I'll go for search sidebar. You can add an ID here, so sidebar search. You want to press OK and then immediately save those changes. Now we can go through and enable that search sidebar on the relevant area of the site. So we'll see we have options for all these different areas on your site. You've got all the way from homepage to single post, single page, archive, all the different types of archive, search, 404, and options for the WooCommerce plugin. And you can choose from this drop down either the default sidebar, any sidebars you've created, so you can create multiple sidebars if you'd like to, and for single posts and single pages, you can choose between default, any custom, and no sidebar at all. You can customize these on a per post and per page basis. So I'm going to go ahead and find search here. So this will add a custom sidebar for search results. I want to select search sidebar there and save those changes. If I now go over to appearance and then widgets, I'm going to find that I've got this extra widget area created, which is search sidebar. So I might just drag in quickly a widget here. So I've got the My Theme Shop Facebook like box just to show you how this works. We can see we've now got, instead of the regular sidebar that you see on posts, we've now got this custom sidebar with that one widget we've added. We can add in multiple widgets here. So I'll just show you again. We've got the regular sidebar displaying on posts, and that's, you can see in action here. But if we do a search, then we've got the custom sidebar displaying. So you can populate your custom sidebars under appearance and then widgets. We'll also have a look at widgets later on in the video, and you can add as many custom sidebars as you like. It's worth spending a bit of time with this feature as it's a really powerful way of customizing your site. Save those changes once you're done, and next up we can have a look at navigation. This will allow you to customize the navigation settings on your site, and you'll find a link here to the WordPress menu editor. You want to load that up, and here we can customize the menus displaying on our site. So you can create a new menu here or customize any menus that you've got already. So I'll see here I've got the primary menu selected here, so I'll just load that up, and we can see we've got the menu that we've got on our site at the moment. On the left hand side we can add content, and on the right hand side we can customize the structure. So we've got pages. You can press view all to access all of them here, and you can just tick and then press add to menu, and WordPress will add that to the bottom. You can then drag and drop in order to move that around, and indent in order to add that as a drop down. You can have multiple layers of drop down if you'd like. So we could nestle that here, or you can add it as a top level menu item. It's the same for adding different types of content. So we've got posts. You can see most recent, view all, or search, as well as if you've got any custom plugins such as the WP quiz plugin by My Theme Shop. Add any custom links. So here you can just add any link and any link text, categories, and any post formats here. So you can add in those there, and as I showed you, you can drag and drop in order to move these around. Once you're done making any changes, you can save your menu, and then you need to apply it to a location on your site. So we'll go to Manage Locations here, and you'll see here we've got two options to choose from. We've got the primary menu, which we just selected there, which is the one we were editing, and you can also select a custom menu to display on mobile. So if you've got a smaller menu you perhaps want to customize for smaller screens, then you can select one here, or if you leave this blank, it's going to just display the primary menu. So if we save those changes and have a look at our site, If we just refresh, we're going to find that extra menu item added on here. If we head back to the theme options then, the next option up there is typography. And from here, you can control the fonts used on your site. You can choose between 17 web-safe standard font sets or from the Google Fonts library containing over 600 fonts. And you can customize all aspects of your typography here. You might want to follow this link to the Google Fonts library first, because the Google Fonts library contains so many fonts. You can try them out on their website though, and that just makes it a little bit easier. So we'll see here, this is the same format for all of these different areas where you have fonts on your site, and you can customize any of these. So I'll start off by customizing the navigation font. First, you can choose between the font type. So we have first these web-safe fonts. You can choose any of those, or if you scroll past that, it's going to load up the Google Fonts library. You can also search. So if I wanted to have one that I wanted already, I can select that there. You can also choose the font weight if that's available, as well as the font size in pixels, the color, using a color picker here. And if you click on more, you can also choose the CSS selectors, add any additional CSS and choose a fallback font, which will display if the Google Font library can't be loaded. You can also customize if you're using a dark color here, for example, you can have a light background for this preview here. So I'll just show you what that looks like if I save those changes. And now if we have a look at our site, we're going to see that the navigation font is going to change to the font I've just selected. And we can see that's loaded up there. And it's the same for customizing any of these on your site. You can go through these and select them to have all of the fonts that you want. Right at the bottom, you're going to see some options for including character sets. So if you're using non-Latin languages, then you can tick the boxes here in order to add those character sets. But note, these sets aren't available for all fonts, so you'll want to check that before you add in the fonts here. Save those changes once you are done, and we can now have a final look at the Import and Export tab. You'll remember we looked at this first in order to add the demo content, but if we have a look again, we're going to see if we scroll past the demo content, we've got some extra options here. First, you can import and export your options. So if we click on Show Export Code here, we're going to see we've got all of our code that's going to generate the options that we've selected on our site. And we can either copy and paste these into a new site, so copy and then paste into a new site here, or copy into an external file and save that as a text file as a backup. So it's a really neat way of moving your site quickly if you're moving between websites. You can also create a child theme here. So you can do that just by adding in the name of your child theme. So I'll just go for AdSense child theme and then press create child theme. And then the theme is going to automatically create all the files you need for adding in a child theme there. So if we save those changes and then go to appearance and then themes, we will be able to activate the child theme. And then if you're making any advanced changes to your site, this is a great way of customizing your site without losing those changes once you have updated the theme. So we'd really recommend using a child theme here for any advanced changes, and you want to do that instead of editing the files that come with the theme. So a child theme is a really powerful way of customizing your site. So that's all of the theme options looked at, and we're done with that part of the setup. We can now then have a look at the shortcodes which will show or hide the AdSense content on your site. So you'll remember if we had a look at ad management here, we have the option to add this shortcode, and any content wrapped in this is going to be hidden by the message saying the ad blocker is enabled. So we can use this anywhere where you can use shortcodes, including post pages and widgets. So if we go over to posts here and have a look at our site, I'll just find a post with the ad blocker shortcode enabled already. So you'll remember that using this meant that if we have ad block enabled, then the content is going to be hidden here, and you can see that in action here. So on our site, what this looks like is we have detect ad blocker here, and then the content that's wrapping this, and then a closing tag here. And to use this on your site, that's all you need to do. You just need to have the text here. I'll just write it out for you so you can see it again. You want to have an opening square bracket and then detect underscore ad blocker, and then a closing square bracket, and then you want to add in another break where you want to close this, and then another square bracket, slash, and then detect underscore ad blocker again. And that's going to display the standard message that you added in the theme options. So if we have a look at our site again, you're going to see we've got two areas now blocking ads here. So we've got 1 and then 2. You can, however, choose to display a custom message instead of the regular message. And to do that, you can just add some custom bits to the shortcode here. And you'll find these in the theme options. You've got the full text here if you need these for reference. So you can choose to have a custom title here just by adding in title equals and then 2 quotes, and then add the text you want for your title in here. So I'll say this is an ad blocker. And if we preview that on our site, then we can see that we've got the custom header text here for the title, but we've got the regular full text. If you want to customize the full text as well, then you just need to add in description equals and then 2 quotes again, and then add in the text between those. So I'll say, please disable your ad blocker to see this content. And if we update that again and then have a look at our site, then we're going to see that we've got the post with 2 ad blocking areas here. But the first has this custom message and the second has the standard one that we've set in the theme options. So that's how you're using those shortcodes there. And again, if you need them for reference, you're going to find them under Appearance, Theme Options, and then go to Ad Management, and you've got the shortcode that you can use here. So if we head back to Edit Post, just a couple of other things to show you unique to the theme. You've got options to choose the post type here. So you can choose between Standard, Gallery, which will allow you to have gallery images, Video, where you can add in an embed code from YouTube or Vimeo and so on, and any other source that allow you to embed videos. And here you can add in URLs from sites such as SoundCloud or an embed code as well. You also have the option to choose a header animation. So you can have none, a parallax effect, or a zoom out effect. So just show you what this looks like. As we scroll down the page from the top of the post, then the header is going to zoom out here, and we've got that nice little animation there. The final thing to show you then is head over to Appearance and then Widgets. And here you can set up the widgets that will display on your site. Widgets are a really powerful way of customizing your WordPress site, so it's worth spending a little bit of time getting used to them. On the left hand side, you've got all of the available widgets with a title and a description that tells you what it does. You also have some My Theme Shop specific widgets, and you can find these from the MTS prefix here. On the right hand side, you've got all of the widget areas. This includes the default widget areas and any custom widget areas you've created, such as the search sidebar or the footer widget areas that we selected here. As you expand each of these, you're going to find a description for where it displays. So the sidebar, for example, is the default sidebar. You can now drag and drop any of the widgets into the widget areas. So if I want to display My Theme Shop category posts, so that's the most recent post from a single category, I can drag and drop into the position I want. We'll then expand with some options on how to set it up. So we've got the title, so that'll be featured category. You can choose which category to display, as well as the number of posts to show, title length, and you've got a number of other options here. So show thumbnails, show post date, show comments. So I might disable the number of comments and also leave the excerpt disabled. I'll press save. And now on my sidebar, at the top of the sidebar here, we've got that added in here. And you can set these up how you want it. You can also drag and drop in order to move these around. So I can just drag and drop here. That's going to save automatically. So if I now just refresh my site, we're going to see that this has now moved to further down here. You can even drag and drop between widget areas. So I can drag and drop the category posts to the footer if I'd like, or to any custom sidebars I created earlier. You can also edit any widgets you've already added in here. So here we've got an advert here. We can edit any of the content as well as press delete in order to remove that. You can also use the shortcode here for displaying your ads. So in order to use that, you just need to add a text widget. You can add a title if you'd like, and then you just need to add detect underscore ad blocker. the content of your ad, and then the same again, you've got detect _ ad blocker, except you've got a slash there just to close that off. So any content you want to add in there with the ad blocker, you can just do so using the text widget. You also have the option to customize your site with your widgets using the customizer. So if you click on manage with live preview, you're going to have the option to customize your widgets with a live preview of what it's going to look like. This will only display the widgets that you can see on any page. So on the home page, for example, we haven't got the sidebar, so we can only customize the footer section. So if I scroll down here though, we can have a look. If we load up the first footer, we can see we've got categories here. I can just add in a different title saying, check this out, for example, and that's going to live update with the content there. And we'll see that refreshes now, and we can see what that looks like straight away without having to refresh. We can also click through to any post page on your site, and you can now customize. If we go back here, we're going to have the option to customize the widget areas that are visible. So now we have the sidebar available, and we can customize that there. And again, you can customize by expanding as well as dragging and dropping here in order to move any of those around. Once you're done, you can press save and publish, and WordPress is going to immediately publish that onto your site. And you can just press this little X here in order to return to the widget page. So for full control over your site, you can use the WordPress widget editor under appearance and then widgets, where you can access all of your site at once. But if you want to see how things are going to look in preview, then you can manage with live preview here. And that concludes our look around the AdSense theme. By this point in the video, you should be fully set up, and you'll have a blog that will help you earn more money from your ads with the inbuilt ad blocker detector. If you do have any queries or run into any problems, then head over to community.mythemeshop.com and we'll be more than happy to help you. Hope this video has been useful for you, and thank you very much for watching.